Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and as you can see, we're going to be painting outside today. We're in Red Rock Canyon, and I've picked a scene right behind me. It should be a lot of fun. If you're enjoying this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future painting videos. All right, let's get started. We'll start off today here with a little bit of blue and white for the sky. And you can see my reference painting up there. I've got my Mr. Bottle, probably just leave it here on the little palette. I don't know if you can see the palette or not, probably not for the most part. I got my paints right down here. I'll be sure to kind of call out the colors for you. Okay, let's start up here, and I've toned my canvas with some brown, and that's good stuff. I'm gonna paint in our blue sky, of course, starting at the top, working down. And because we're painting in the desert, I'll probably just have to keep the Mr. Bottle in my other hand. It's gonna dry out that fast. There's a little bit of a breeze. Hopefully that's okay and doesn't get picked up in the mic. It doesn't seem like it would. It's just not that strong. But we don't film much outside, do we? There was a really pretty thunderhead actually over that mountain. I don't see it anymore. I think it's like on the other side. I saw it driving up. Now, as you can see here, I've done a very quick underpainting, well, a sketch for the underpainting, and I'm gonna block it in with large strokes and mist it, because if you don't mist it, the paint just seizes up and mist the palette too. There. And now I'm gonna go slightly lighter in the background, although this just isn't that far away. I might just do that a little lighter. There. And we probably will not, I'm just throwing this out there, we're not gonna finish it here. We already have some good photos of this area, so we'll come back and finish it properly at the studio so that so we don't have to rush it and it's just not crazy out here. I'm just gonna get the colors and the foundations out here in person, and then we'll take it home and we can add hours worth of detail when I'm not standing out here in the desert sun. And you see, I'm gonna do these vertical areas where the sandstone's been eroded. Isn't that cool? You do just little bits and touches. The more you have kind of a variation in your paint, the better. And then down here is actually catching, yeah, right in here is actually catching all the light. The lighting is coming across from the left, going to the right, but kind of almost a little bit from behind, but not really, as I see the sun right up there. So now right up here, I'm gonna do the same, just continuing to highlight a little more red into my color. So I have yellow, red, and white. Again, sorry if you can't see the colors on my palette. Now this bit here kind of runs down. We've got a break there. I'm doing my best to get this accurate. What's the point of coming out here if you're not even gonna try to get it accurate? At least at the beginning. You can play around with it later. Good. And then kind of use my brush with dry brush strokes, going this way to get some of that sandstone action. The looser you mix the color, the easier it is. Lots of red, lots of goofy little bits and pieces out here. This is a weird shape, the way it's eroded. There we go. Stroking. It's starting to look a little better. Keeping all my earth tones kind of on the left-hand side of the palette is good. I don't want to get any of that blue anymore. Not yet. We might sprinkle some blues in and around. I see blues in the cool areas on the mountain. This is actually really pretty. I like this. I wasn't so sure how this is going to turn out because, you know, you never guarantee when you come out and do stuff like this. But hey, not bad so far. Hopefully the mic is working. Otherwise, I'll be voicing over it back when we get to the studio, which is something that it's an option, something I thought I might have to do anyways. There. Okay. That's not bad. I think I've nailed the color there, so I'll put the cracks in the rocks later. Back over to this one. Way in the background I see a bit right back in here, more yellow. There. I'm just going to keep working on these mountains, and then we'll come back and, I don't know, do a shadow or something. Get a nice light against that mountain there. Now I'm mixing together a very warm color. A little brown, black, white, whatever mud now that isn't dry on my palette. And actually that's not quite right. There we go, that looks better. Okay, watch this up here. Oh, that's a nice warm color. I'm looking up here. Look at that. This is fun. And yep, I'm just dropping in this little cliff. And this is an extra, well, my paint's already dry, that's okay. That'll keep at least the big piles from drying out. There we go. I should probably mist my... Oh, I was going to talk to you about my canvas. My canvas is a regular cotton canvas today. And I did coat it with a little bit of a texture medium, just so I could have some brush strokes. That would, you can kind of see them in the sky and in the mountain. I don't know, thought it would look nice. So I did. That was acrylic. Of course, you don't want to use anything that's oil-based to underpaint for your acrylics. It's always acrylics over acrylics. There. Oh, look at that thing cut this mountain right off. That looks good. Again, I'm sorry if there's wind in the mic. I have no idea how this is going to sound because I don't think I've ever shot with wind in this particular mic. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good. If it's not, then we might have to do something about it when we get back. There. Look at that come right down, and then we lose it, and then we're gonna do another one right here. I love my reference painting. I keep calling it my reference painting. You know, I'm just having fun. Let's see right here. My cracks are not lined up perfect, probably with your view, because you know every little inch that you move changes your view so much. So my view is not the same exact as your view. And I'm kind of painting off to my left anyway. It's not exactly what's in front of me. I'm kind of taking a little bit from there, a little bit from there, and mushing them together. It makes a better composition. We're gonna need, do you see all these bushes? I don't know if you can see those bushes right now, but there's a bunch of bushes out here. We're gonna have to use a couple of those on the right-hand side, I think will be really pretty. Go back to my darker colors. Keep this going. And right here. Now, let's go with more red. Put a little green in that red, actually, because green and red make brown. There it goes. Gives me a different tone. Maybe it feels like it's coming closer. Oop, don't want too much green. There's no green out here except for those bushes. I don't even know if those count as green. They probably don't where you live. They do where we live. Nice. Give this one a bit of a highlight right out here on top. There. And then I've done this all with my little synthetic flat brush just because I don't want to be messing around with other brushes until I'm ready to detail. This is a good one for the size. I don't remember the size of canvas that I'm using. It's small. It'll come to me. 11 by 14, I think. 11 by 14 sounds right. Yeah. Well, I'm looking up at the sky and look what's rolled in. I had the camera off maybe 10 minutes. I've been just kind of noodling on these mountains, and in comes that cloud. That was the cloud I was looking at. It must have been behind the mountains. Now it's rising up. Anyway, I'm rushing here because I don't want to miss it. I literally see it moving across the sky. I also moved the camera so that you can see it too. All right, I see that gray. I want to get that gray in there. And oh, this is so pretty. Actually, I like it better the more it moves. Oh, I really wanted that cloud. I'm excited to see it. It comes all the way down, not quite down to that lower mountain. It comes halfway across the sky, at least for the purposes of the painting. And I'm going to put a little more blue in that. This is exciting. This is one of the things about outdoor painting. You have to be flexible. If you're not flexible, you'll be frustrated because things change on you. Now we've actually lost the sun. It's behind another cloud. And we still got our clouds up there. That's cool. They've changed a little bit. They've sort of settled down. I think I've got them in the painting though, where I'm happy with them. So now I'm just gonna mix up a nice soft yellow color. It's kind of got some golds and greens in it. Let's replicate some of these bushes. And there's a zillion of them. I don't know if I'm gonna paint them all out here. I just don't know if it's worth dealing with it. But let's get in here and just paint a few of them. I've got my tiny filbert. I would show it to you, but you know, we're outside, so I'm not going to. You've seen it before. You know what it looks like. We painted with it almost every other little acrylic painting that we do. And I'm coming in, I'm using comma strokes, overlapping X's, and all that good stuff, just to get the feeling of a desert bush. You do want to be able to see through these slightly. Oop, there's the sun. There's not a lot of highlights, so let me see. So we don't have too much, but let's get us a little, even if we don't see a ton. Yellow, and just dabble on a little highlight. I think once I nail the colors in these bushes, we can do more bushes back in the studio once we're out of the desert. Well, once we're out of this desert. There. Cool. Let's see, a couple more little browns. Okay, now they seem to be sitting, all of them do, up on these little mounds of grass. And I know why that is. Probably because actually this is sand, very sandy. And as the wind blows, oh, does the wind blow around here? As it blows, it would create these little sand dunes, and it doesn't wash away the sand, blow away the sand, where the grass patches are. So that's the deal with that. Looks about right. Now we want to do another bush in front of this one. There. And I'm being very smudgy and loose here. I'll tighten up some of this brushwork later when we've got all the time that we need and there's not the risk of getting sunburned. There. Well, that's as far as we're going to take it today. I'll bring it back to the studio and we'll finish it there. Well, now we're back here in the studio and I've got my painting clamped into my little easel. I do have a wooden adapter that I made for it. An adapter, it's really a fancy name for a couple boards. And now, I've got a photo down here. I'm just coming through here and picking out areas for more shadow. And I decided to work from the foreground to the background. I played just 2 minutes with those clouds, didn't do much. Softened them for the most part. But I want to start down here because I think that we need to nail the foreground before knowing how detailed and how vibrant we need the background to be. Actually, speaking of vibrant, I really don't want to change the color of this. I just want to highlight in shadow and tighten up any of the sloppy brush strokes. There, let's face it, we had to get that thing done pretty quick. It's nice to be back here where we've got air conditioning and you see I've got my normal palette here. This is all good stuff. I'm using the microfilbert here kind of just to drop in these little bits. This is a closer area. So these darks are very dark. Yeah. Maybe right here, just feather this in. See, I get to go so slow and it's just nice. It's just simply nice. But here's a couple points though. I do not want to lose my, the spontaneous look of it. They'll look like it was painted outside. I like some of those brush strokes showing, you know what I mean? So I don't want to lose that. Let me give you an example. See that one there? This right in through here, lots of brush strokes. I don't want to lose that. I'll be very careful to keep those. Now over here, let me just, I'm not too sure. That's a light spot. And I'm looking at my photo. I don't know why I put that light spot in. Maybe it was where I was standing. I don't know. I'm just going to take it out though. All right. Continually dipping in water helps your paints to flow. I'm going to do a couple of vertical lines here. Now I'll load up my brush with some white and yellow and a touch of red. I'm trying to get a color similar to what we had. And I'm thinking we missed a few little details up in here. Mostly I'm talking about the little rings. Maybe rings isn't the right word. Actually, maybe this isn't the right brush. What I'm talking about is, you know how like they normally run vertically? These are running horizontally as well. You saw them, you know what I mean. Little textures. And they kind of bend around the mountain, depending on what's going on. See that? Kind of like that. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. And maybe a little right there. Yes. Kind of soften some of that. That looks good. They're very desert looking, huh? That's all it takes, just a bit. You don't need a bunch. And then grab a darker color and do it again to create a shadow in there. See that? You have to have the shadows. All right, that looks good, but don't go anything too crazy because if you do, it'll end up, let me show you my palette again, it'll end up looking kind of hard and not as soft as maybe we would want it. There we go, that's it. So I'm just gonna kind of practice this a little and then as I go more, I'll Probably speed up a little. There are a couple of darker lines right in through here that we need. There, but not too crazy dark. Now I'm thinning a little bit of a light brown down on the liner brush. There we go, drawing it out, and this should be pretty good. Maybe a little darker, let's see. Let's test it and see if we like it. Oh, there we go. This is the stuff I wanted to do outside, but just didn't want to do outside, if you know what I mean. Because it was so hot and, well, actually it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. But it was very dry and the paints were seizing up, you know, literally in the brush. So it's just stuff like this is easier to do here. Plus it just doesn't make any difference. A limb is a limb, whether you're painting it inside or outside. It's the colors and the composition that I wanted to nail. You see how just a little bit of detail, see that mountain looks a little bit more like the actual mountain with the horizontal ridges. I think this will just make the painting look a little better having some of these sticks in here. I love that. All right, well, I think we're done with our little painting adventure. It was a lot of fun painting outside. It was nice to finish it in here though. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.